Okay, hi everybody. So how's your stretching been going? If you're like me, you have not got around to it. So I've just done a couple of Pilates classes today and I'm feeling a little tight, and I thought I might as well record it for my lovely Pilates clients, because we always talk about our 7:30 or 6:30 a.m. stretching class that's virtual, that we never do. So maybe with this video we can meet on the web and do our stretching together. So I want you to grab either a towel, a TheraBand, a long sleeve shirt, or even like a dressing gown tie, because we're going to use that for legs and straps. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is our hip flexor stretch. So come up nice and tall, knees are about a fist distance apart, and we're going to bring one leg forward. Now I've got my ankle forward of my knee on purpose. I bring my hands onto my hips for balance, and I just gently tilt my pelvis forward. Now I'm going to start moving forward until my knee and my ankle are aligned. I'm pulling up through this quad, and this is where I want to feel the stretch. Pulling my belly in, and I'm going to hold and breathe. While I'm doing this, I'm going to make it a little harder. So I'm going to bring the same hand as leg and press into that leg, and then bring my other arm up and over and slightly behind to get a really nice lateral stretch. I've still got that hard tilt on. I want to hold this stretch for 15 to 20 seconds. I'm still breathing, still pulling my core in, still have that pelvic tilt on, and I'm pressing my bottom leg into the mat. I'm going to come back up, come forward, bring my hands to either side of that front foot. This back foot, I'm going to tuck the toes, but it's going to go out of screen. So I'm going to tuck the toes and come up. So I'm just going to walk that away, pressing my hands into the mat. That's what my front leg looks like. And now I want to be nice and straight from tailbone to the crown of my head. And I'm just still feeling that stretch up through this hip flexor. And again, I've got this nice line from knee to ankle in my front leg. And again, we hold that for around 15 seconds. Breathing into those ribs, and big exhale. So I'm really letting the weight of my body rest on this front leg. Now we're gently going to drop that back knee, and I'm going to flatten my foot down onto the mat. And I'm going to start leaning back towards that back foot, walking my hands down the mat. And I want to straighten this front leg. That front foot can stay flat on the mat, or you can bring that heel up as you go. Watch for this hip pushing out that way. You want to line it back up so that your hip and knee are in a nice straight line. And if you need a little bit more for the hamstring and calf stretch, just bend into those elbows. So the lower down I get towards that leg, the more stretch I feel. And again, you can play around with flattening that foot or flexing that foot. When I flatten that foot, I get a nice stretch up through the front, so that can be quite good too. Still breathing into those ribs. And exhale. Okay, coming up, hook this foot in. And if you've got the wall next to you, that you can help you hold that for balance. We want to bring that back leg up and pull that foot towards your tailbone. Pull up through the core, lengthen up nice and tall, and really feel the stretch through the front of this quad. It's all right if you're out here, or if you need to walk that foot forward a bit more. If you don't quite have that flexibility, you'll still get a stretch here. Just try not to bend your back. Try to keep nice and upright through that spine. Okay, and bring that down. All right, I'm just going to change my view so that you can see me front on, but we're going to swap legs now, okay? So bring the opposite leg out in front. Am I doing this right? tilt. Like, I can't work it out. And forward. And hold. For 3, 2, 1. Very good. So we've got that nice pelvic tilt on. Going to come forward a little bit. I don't quite have as much room. We tuck our toes under on that back leg and we lift up. And so we're stretching out through that back leg, through that thigh. I've got my hands in front and I'm just holding and breathing. Again, my knee and ankle are nicely aligned. Deep breaths in. One more breath. Great. Gently lower that back knee down. And we're going to flatten that back foot down onto the ground. Walk our hands back. And we're stretching out our front leg now. Now you've got a good view. This is what happens to that hip. It wants to go out. Pull it back in so your knee and hip are nicely aligned. Pulling your core up and in. You can have this foot flat or you can flex it. Again, watching those hips. Bending into your elbows if you want a little bit more. Taking that breath. And exhale. And again, deep breath into those ribs. And exhale all the way out. Okay, coming back up. Bring that foot down. Planting that foot. And we grab hold of that back leg. And we lift up nice and tall. So we're trying to pull that back heel towards our butt. We've still got a little bit of a tilt on here. So we're tilting our pelvis forward and up. And we breathe for 5. Two more breaths. Last one. And release. Okay, come down to seated on the mat. And bring those legs out to the side. Bring one foot in. Can you hear my kids? I'd be surprised if you couldn't. Everyone can hear my kids at the moment. If you've seen my earlier Facebook post, you know what my house is like right now. So, same hand as leg, goes on the floor, opposite leg. Lift those ribs up and come over. Try to grab that foot, pull it back towards you if you can. And holding again for around 10 to 15 seconds. When you're here, watch you're not internally rotating that leg or externally rotating it. Make it nice and straight out of that hip. So your knee is straight to that forehead. You know, if you don't have that flexibility and you're just here, that's fine. You just work within your range, okay? Oh, my arm looks very long on this angle. Okay, and coming up. And swapping sides. Same hand as leg on the floor. Lift those ribs off the hips. Come up and over. Keep this hip down. Don't let it come with you. And don't hang your head down here. Head should be in line with the spine. Reach over for that foot. Tug it in towards you. Turn your head to your knee if you can. And give it a stretch. And coming back up. So these are the stretches that I do after running, after Pilates, whenever I feel tight, I come in and I do all of these stretches. So the next stretches we're going to do is our legs and strap stretches, our favourite stretches. So this is why we want something nice and long. So I've got a TheraBand. I went and bought them from Kmart on Monday when I heard we were having a lockdown. Can't live without the TheraBand. I'm going to lie down and bring our left leg into the band. So I'm just going to show you a few different ways. So I've got my TheraBand and I've got my opposite knee bent. You can have that out long if you like. That can be a little bit more challenging for your stability. So if you don't have a TheraBand, excuse me, here's the other options. This is my dressing gown. Cool it? Perfect. Okay. If you don't have a dressing gown, steal your kids' ones. If they don't, they won't take it off. It's not a day for taking them off today. Use a long sleeve jumper. Okay. It's my Kathmandu jumper, and I've wound it around, and I'm using the arms to pull. Finally, if you don't have that, use a towel. Bring that up, twist it round, and use it to pull, okay? So no excuses, lots of options. So you would have all had your lovely hamstring stretch by now. So holding on to whatever you have, nice and tightly. I like to use one hand and take my opposite hand out to the side for support. Keep this elbow that's holding the cords tucked into your side. You're going to take that leg out to the side. So I want to stretch my inner thighs, but I don't want to bring my opposite hip over. So I even up through those hips and I take that leg out to the side and I hold that stretch there. Pulling that core up and in and not letting your opposite hip move with you. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Glute stretch. So you can just do this stretch like this, like we normally would here, or you can take your cord, put it around your tabletop leg and pull it towards you as you are pressing the tabletop leg away with this leg. So I'm pressing this foot into this knee as I'm pulling my tabletop leg towards me. Get it? Play around with it. See what you can find. Or of course, put your hands through. Use this elbow to press that knee away and really get that good glute stretch. Awesome. Okay, other side. So band around opposite foot. It can be long or bent. And you're just going to pull it up towards you, trying to keep it as straight as possible. Okay, so don't start lifting here. It stays down. I'm still on my neutral spine. I'm not pushing my back into the mat. I'm not arching my back, and I'm not lifting my butt off the mat. Okay, I'm just trying to keep this leg straight. And if you want a little bit more, see what I did? I flexed my foot. Send your heel to the ceiling if you want a bit more. Okay. Now we go out to the side. So I'm going to bring this arm down, whichever way is comfortable for you, and take it out to the side. Yeah. Don't cheat on the wall like me. Find some space. So if you're like that and you don't have enough room to go out to the side, think about pulling it up towards you. Okay. So that's going to give you a stretch through this area as well. Maybe a little bit different though. Great. Coming over for our glute stretch. We bring the band around our tabletop foot, heel to knee, and again straighten up. So this hip and this knee are in alignment. I'm not leaning out to the side. Okay, make sure it's a nice straight line. And then do whatever you need to do to get that nice stretch through the glute. And again, if you're not feeling it with the band, roll up, press that knee away with your elbow. Awesome. Okay, we've got 2 more. So let that off. Coming up, just a little hip opener. So just like we do in class, we're going to bring our feet together, soles of our feet together. So your feet might be out here. You might be able to bring them all the way in. Whatever is comfortable for you. Don't ever go past your range in stretching. Don't stretch to burn. Don't stretch and pull a ligament or a tendon. You know, we can overstretch. So stay within your range. You want to feel it, but you don't want it to be really painful. Okay, so now I want you to use your weight. I'm going to put my elbows into my knees. Using my body as a weight, I'm going to come forward of my hips and just stretch through. Now I'm going to come to the side because I want you to see that my back's kind of quite straight when I do this. I'm not rounding in. I'm trying to extend in a long line from my tailbone to the crown of my head. And coming over. And holding, 3, 2, 1. Okay, last stretch. So I'm going to do it with my mat and then I'll face you so you can see it. Lie down on your tummy. Okay, we're here. All right, I want you to take, what do I want you to do? I want you to take, bring your left leg up, cross it over to the right side of your mat, and then take your right leg, keep it out long, and cross it to the left side of your mat. So you can stay down here, you can come out long, or you can walk your hands up and be nice and tall. So what I'm doing here, I'll turn and face you in a minute, is stretching out through the hip and glute area. So I do it on the opposite leg now. Take this leg here. I'm running out of room with my wall. Take my back leg back and I press into my arms under my shoulders. So again, this is one to work up to and to be careful of. And if you like to come up nice and tall, do so. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. And I play around with my height. I play around with every stretch to find what's good for me. So you should do that too, because you'll find lots of different things and tightnesses. So the more I play around with it, the more the stretch moves through my body to different places. Okay. Coming up. Swap sides if you haven't done that already. Come back in. Shaky, shaky, shaky. And you've done my stretching workout. Thanks, everybody. I miss you. And maybe we'll set up our mat Pilates class next week sometime. Okay, see ya.